All right. Sorry about that. Welcome to Rippaverse NRT. That's news, reviews, and theories. We had a little technical difficulty with our sound. It was all muted. Okay. So, back to what I was saying before that happened and everything. Uh, your comic book cover, it tells a lot about the issues. So, you have ugh, you have a lot of different types of comic book covers, and Eric's decided to go with three for this one right here. And I know Eric knows this. He's probably you know got every kind of comic book you can have, but I just want to go over this right now for people who might not understand or might not know why people pick certain. Oh, what the miss? There we go. We'll go blue for now because it's solid. Okay, so the psychology of people who pick specific colors or specific covers. So we got issue number 1 right here, and it is very much a new 52 style, full body, looking at the camera, kind of raw picture, and it's got the other characters in the background. This is very much a new 52 style for a cover, and it's iconic. Don't get me wrong, but there's a reason that more people have bought this one than they are talking about this one. Okay, they're buying it for the rareness of it because it's going to be out of stock, and then you'll never see another one unless you get it on eBay or something in 15, 20 years. Okay, and you got cover B, which is very iconic, but it leans more towards the classic type of cover. So two people fighting each other, an event that probably happens within the story, but not this specific scene. So, a canon cover is what we call them. It's something that actually happens within the story. These are my personal favorite kind of covers, are the canon covers. And B or C is the same exact thing. It's something that is possibly going to happen within the story. It is just a cover for something that is probably going to happen. Canon covers are best covers for most, for fans and for readers especially. The worst thing you can have is like the Death of Superman 2, that where it's got Supergirl standing over Superman and Superman's dead, bleeding, but the event never happens within the book. It's a joke cover. Like the whole book is Supergirl hanging out and just trying to do stuff, right? Hanging out in a bar and stuff like that, just trying to work through her own bullshit. That's one of the worst kinds of covers that you can get. I hope that Eric never goes that route with any of his covers. The bullshit trap covers. They're stupid. But, so, yeah, like I said, this one goes more of the New 52 route, or the full body, front facing, like this one right here. Avengers versus JLA. It's got Superman. He's holding the Thor's hammer and the shield. Like he's just beat the shit out of Thor and Captain America, which he does. He wins this fight. But this is a very looking at the camera, and I'll show it here. It's a very iconic pose. Like this is going to be one of the covers that is just remembered for being an awesome cover. Okay? So you have this one right here, and I don't have a good example of that right here with me, but it's just an action cover. So action cover for something that actually happens within the book probably. And Yara's, people love Yara. This is going to be the most popular cover. Not the most iconic, but the most popular. People talk more about this one than they do the first cover. So if this was a Virgin cover, it would sell like crazy. Like this one would be just no holds barred, the best cover ever made for this book. And I hope that Eric entertains the idea of Virgin covers in the future, because those are the best ones. Like those are my favorite, my personal favorites, and they sell the most of them. If you ever hang out in a comic book auction, then the Virgin covers will sell more than any other just raw book. And that is a Virgin cover. It doesn't have any words on it, nothing. It is just a piece of art that most people would like to get framed or get put in a... you have to get framed and hang them on their wall or whatever. Like, these are some of the best looking books for a cover. It doesn't even matter what's on the inside, as far as that goes. Like, they're very, very popular among comic book readers and collectors. And then you have the event covers that pertain to an event that are not connected to the book itself. So, like this one, this is Gamora, but it's a Venomized cover. This ties into the Venomverse books. These sell a lot as well, but they are just, neat to look at. But these are some of the non-canon covers. Nothing like this happens in the book whatsoever. There's no Venom even in the book. It's just a Venomized cover because they were doing a Venom event at the time. That's what that is. But yeah, it's just talking about these covers. This one is the same example as cover B. So it's going to be the least popular of the three, and there's nothing wrong with the cover per se. It's just that it just happens to be the third cover. So it's going to be the least popular, but the most sold of it, because it doesn't have a limited number on it. That is the difference. And this has little to do with the cover or anything like that, but I just wanted to cover this because, people are talking about on Twitter, they're talking about how Rippa's book is overpriced, and they're talking about how they can get the same thing at a comic book store for $12. That's not true. Okay, if they do, it's on sale, because this right here is Black Panther Volume 2. Okay? The cover, very little special. It's just him and some characters that he interacts with in the book. Nothing special at all. But the price on this, and I don't know if you can read it or not, but it's $34.99 retail. Okay. So, that means that unless you've got a used copy of this, a brand new copy is going to be $35. It's the same price as Eric's book. This is a Marvel book. Okay. It does have more pages, but the art is nothing special. It's from the 90s, so it kind of has like a mixture of Spawn design and several other things. So it's not the same as Eric has 96 pages. This has over 100. But this is 17 issues put into one book. The $35. This was $35 like 10 years ago. So it's probably more than that now. But it's Marvel have printer companies all over the world. They can get better deals than Eric can right now. So that's a little different, but I'm just saying, $35 for a book that's over 30 pages is not bad. That is not a bad price at all. It's on the higher end, sure, but it's not bad. So I just wanted to get that out because I watched his video right before doing mine, and I've done this video twice already because of technical issues. So this is the third time I'm trying to do it. So I just wanted to get that out. But as far as the cover art goes, it's amazing. It looks great. I can't wait to see more of what this universe has to offer. This is probably not going to be one of my big videos. It's just me sitting here talking about comic book covers and the different kinds and which ones are more likely to sell. This is just me theorizing on which ones will sell better. Like, we know from this campaign that the Yara is the most popular, but the A cover is the most sold so far. They're going to sell about the same amount, but they're both going to be sold out. And that the cover C is going to be the most owned because it is the most. It's going to have the most. It's the least sold right now, but they're going to have an unlimited number of cover C. So that being said, I just wanted to clarify a few things, talk about it. You know, if you have any lenticular covers too, and which his cards are lenticular. If he ever does the lenticular covers as well, man, those are going to be like $45 books. But that'll be well worth it. Hello, General Piggy. What's up? Had to redo this thing 3 times today. Hell the lore. What's up, man? Yeah, I've just been talking about covers and just kind of judging them based on art and talking about like them compared to other covers, what Eric might do in the future with covers. So yeah, it's if you missed the video, you know, go back and watch it from the front. I've had to redo this thing 3 times a day, so let's hope this one works. Is my sound working? Just please tell me my sound is working this time. Oh, dogs, shut up! Oh. Big bloodhound trying to howl in the middle of a show. But yeah, yeah, he's they're loud too. Chihuahuas and a bloodhound. Well, I appreciate it, man. Like this channel's doing way more numbers than I thought it would at this point. Just like I get about 10 a day now, so it's kind of cool. I'm gonna be dropping videos every single day if I can. Just they'll be at different times throughout the day. You know, I've got my Pokemon Pillage and Plunder game on Twitch tonight, so I had to do this one earlier today. And I've got I may stream on Twitch regularly after that. I don't know, but yeah, I appreciate it every time you guys show up. Y'all help the channel more than you realize, and like I said, I'm aiming to be the oh cool. I'm probably going to end up getting the Rippaverse cards just because if I'm running a channel like this, I probably need to have them just to start off with. I mean, I could always just read the books, but I'm thinking there's going to be some information on those cards that are not going to appear in the first book. So it would be cool to have a little bit of lore ahead for once, you know. I'm starting a website for this right here. Oh yeah, I bet the Rippaverse one. I mean, just from what we've seen of that one, you know, the lenticular design, like I have a addiction to lenticular designs on comic books anyway. Like I will buy a terrible book if it's got a cool lenticular design on it. Yeah, they really are. I'm gonna be, like I said, I'm starting a website for this right here, and I'll probably link your fan page into it, just so people can go over there and find it. And Rippaverse Reddit, you got cover A in the trading card package, very cool. I'm gonna need you to take a picture of the back of the cards and send them to me because I'm gonna be getting a little bit late getting in on it. It'll be I'll probably get them this week if everything goes right, but if it don't, oh well, there's still 75 days left in the campaign. I'll get a cover C. Yeah, once I get the website up, I'll send you a link to it, and I'll link your fan page in it. That way, you know, we're doing stuff together. Oh, I was gonna ask you, Hell the Lord, do you want to be a moderator of this channel? And my Twitch. You want to do it, Piggy? Okay. Yeah, I'll let you you guys be my moderators here. As soon as I figure out how to do it, because pretty soon there's going to be more people in here watching it live than I can keep up with. So, yeah, yeah, you guys are welcome to it. I just like somebody that can send me a message and be like, hey, your sound's not working, you know, something like that. Because every time I have to restart my computer, I have to reset all my sound settings. So, yeah, I'll have you. That's cool. My rules are simple. I don't give a fuck what anybody says in the chat. I don't give a fuck how negative they are. Whatever, as long as they're not just blowing the chat up with stupid shit, you know, or fake links, you know, all that bullshit, the bots. So, yeah, I'll get you guys added too, because you guys are some of my more consistent watchers. So, I'm trying to get all my stuff done early before I blow up bigger than I can handle it, because it's already blowing up. I wasn't expecting, like, 42 people for me for one of my channels. That's a lot, like, for subscribers. Hey, I appreciate it, man. But yeah, 42 people, that's a lot for me, because I've had podcasts in the past that have done, like, just now gotten into the 30s. Right after 2 or 3 years of me ignoring the page, it's gotten to 30s. So I mean, I'm used to recording it, and I'm not used to going live and doing stuff. I'm used to recording it and editing it and putting it on, and then nobody watches it until the videos, until the podcast is already dead. So uh, I'm laughing my ass off at haters on Twitch, on Twitter. They sound like us when they see Marvel. Yeah, but they're not as smart, so they don't know what to criticize. That's the problem. But yeah, they have no clue what to actually criticize when it comes to comic books. Like I was talking about the covers, you know, how iconic they are and stuff like that. Like the Yara cover is the most popular, but cover A still has the most sales. Okay, just judging by the sales here on the page, cover A is still outselling cover B, especially signed. Cover B has that classic hero fighting. I'm assuming another hero cover, so that's kind of iconic as well. But people love Yara, so she's easily going to be one of the most popular characters to start with. So the haters are asking the same questions with Rippa that we was with Marvel and DC. The difference is Rippa actually gives us info and not be yeah, exactly, 100%. Like we've got info, secrecy, and theories right now. Like we've got the stuff that we've been told. We've got the stuff, and which the numbers and stuff are, you know, what we're told. That's the truth. You know, is the amount and all that. The website is built to, you know, tell us exactly how many units are sold, exactly how much has been sold of each. So, you know, that's the truth. We got the secrecy, which is the story we don't know anything about yet. And we got the theories that we come up with just randomly because we got nothing better to do for a month. Oh yeah. Well, you know, there are two people that I've seen that have reacted the best to like cancel culture and stuff like that. I mean, you got geeks and gamers, but they're a whole group of them doing it, so it's a little different for them. They're two individuals that have that held out the best. There was Rippa, and there was Lindsay Ellis. Okay, like her or not, Lindsay could deal with the cancel culture bullshit from both sides, and she had to. Um, until she finally broke, you know, to where she couldn't do it anymore. She couldn't deal with it anymore. But that girl was canceled more than any damn body has been. uh, but Rippa can handle it. Rippa is not concerned about it. Rippa gonna laugh at him, right? So just what? Oh, I guess y'all heard the news that Rippa after tomorrow, Rippa's not gonna be having any more signed copies. Yeah, Yeah, he has. Like, that's why I support Ripper. I'm huge fan. I've been a fan since I want to say 2018. I didn't even know he was a comic book guy when I first heard him. I was listening to a bunch of philosophy videos at the time, and I had stumbled on Nazis are not social. Nazis are socialists. That's the one I had stumbled on. So that's where it. And I'd listen to that, and then I found out he was into comics, and I'm like, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna listen to this guy more. Like. But as far as everything goes, yeah, it's insane. The covers look great. The art looks great. Anybody who complains about that is retarded or blind. You know, the stories are the only thing that are up in the air right now because we don't know. Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be the last day for this campaign because he's already said that it's gonna kill his wrist if he doesn't stop. So tomorrow will be the last day for signed copies. Oh, Snowflake and Safe Space. Oh man, I'm just waiting on like, in which I hope he really doesn't do this, but I'm waiting on some like joke characters to come out that are like leftist, but I hope he doesn't. I hope he takes it 100% serious all the time. Like the worst characters to me are meta characters, like Deadpool. They break the fourth wall. They know they're in a comic book, stuff like that. I hate those kind of characters. Like, they are the worst. And the worst kind of cover to me is one that doesn't have anything to do with the story whatsoever, like Death of Superman 2. He wouldn't. We would though. Yeah. Oh man, the fan fiction is gonna be fucking insane when this stuff comes out more. Like, I hate to go read fan fiction. I really do, but I think I need to add a fan fiction section for this. Just like read it out loud one night, just when I'm bored and I got nothing to talk about between books. Or Rippa the anime verse or whatever. uh, yeah, we would. Well, I appreciate it. Never stop fighting. Uh, yeah, I had the idea. I mean, I got another channel, and it's basically a dead channel right now. And I'm just like, I'm waiting on my co-host to finish being busy with it. So it's basically just a dead channel in limbo. I use my Twitch channel of the same name, but I'm like, man, I got stuff to talk about. Like, I'm gonna make a Rippaverse channel, a Rippaverse exclusive channel. I'm only gonna use Marvel and DC as comparison right now, because I've got nothing else to go off of. But after a certain point, I'm not going to talk about Marvel or DC at all. On this, like I was using these earlier as examples of comic book covers, right? And I got a bunch of Marvel and DC stuff right here, and it's older stuff. But yeah, I was using that, and like my favorite character of all time in any comic book series is Black Panther. So, Awesome is interesting to me because he might fill that void that what's his name left in Black Panther for me, because the intergalactic Wakanda, Ta-Nehisi Coates, I hate those issues. Every time. Don't get chihuahuas, guys. Don't get chihuahuas. Mm-hmm. Hold on 1 second, guys. Oh. All right. Maybe having that door. Maybe having the door closed will help block out some of the sounds of them. Because they're aggressive. Chihuahuas. Let's see. Oh yeah, definitely. Like that's gonna happen soon. Just as soon as we know exactly what his powers are, he's gonna start getting put up against those characters easily. I don't know if y'all seen the what if Miles Morales was awesome yet. Like those stupid books. Or no, I mean it's hilarious, but it's just this what if Miles Morales is stupid. But yeah, I plan on putting out content every day if I can. Just and if y'all show up in the chat, then these videos will be longer than 5 or 10 than the 10-minute little short segments. They'll turn into full episodes easily if people show up in the chat. But so far, people like the death theory that I came up with, and they like the fan art showcase that I did yesterday. Those are my 2 most popular videos right now. But I'm really hoping for Rippa to start doing like Virgin covers. Like you want to talk about wall art, Virgin covers. It's where the money's at. It's just a book without the words on it. But I've been in a lot of comic book auctions and stuff. I've seen what sells. It's lenticular and Virgin covers sell the most. Yeah, Awesome versus Invincible. Yara versus Adam Eve. That may be like I need to know more about the powers, but before we could actually do those on the video, but we'll definitely do some videos on that once we know some powers. Like I figure next month this channel is going to blow up way beyond what I can control. That's why I'm going ahead and getting ahead of it and making YouTube mods. General Piggy and Hell of the Lore are going to be my mods because once this book releases, it's going to get insane. And it's like I was saying in that one video about Image could have been a Marvel killer. It could have killed Marvel and DC in the 90s. But then they started working with Marvel and DC. They started doing crossovers. And then eventually they had to sell their assets off to Marvel and DC. Other than the Walking Dead and Invincible. So never do crossovers. Because that's the sign of a dying company, is doing crossovers. One or the other company needs money, and they're using it to jumpstart sales. Oh yeah. I posted on one of those, and I'm like, they had posted like Zod and the two others from the Superman 2. And I'm like, no, quite obviously, Ripper ripped off this Trinity. And I showed Harry Potter, Hermione, and Ron. I was just being a smartass. I thought it was funny. Like, yeah, they keep trying to find characters that, you know, could be ripoffs of the characters. That's that's pointless, because every character is ripped off of another character or inspired by another character. A direct ripoff is Deadpool. Deadpool was only created because Rob Liefeld could not draw Deathstroke. People don't know that, but the ripoff got more popular, and the ripoff is retarded. So, but that's what one of the most popular comic book characters of all time is, a direct ripoff. Just because Rob Liefeld could not draw, not inspired by. He was meant to be Marvel's Deathstroke, but then he became a comedian. Well, there you go. Create characters that can't be tied to other characters. That's one way to do it. It's a lot. I think it's a lot easier to do that in like a magic setting than it is a superhero setting, because everybody's going to compare everybody to everybody else. And people are comparing Visor Man to the dude with the visor in the Alpha Core to John Diggle. Okay. Wow, because they're wearing a helmet? There's a lot of characters that wear helmets. Like, that's kind of stupid. But if you're gonna, I mean, that's the same with me though. My characters are 100% my characters. They have nothing to do with anybody else's or anything else. But it's a lot easier to do in a magic setting than it is a superhero setting. Because everybody's gonna compare it in a superhero setting. Like I've read some people were comparing like X-Eps to X-Men, and I'm like, okay, I can see the name, you know, having an X in it, that's people having powers. That's kind of the only conclusion you can draw right now. Except it means exceptional. So it's kind of, pointless debating that crap until we actually have the books in our hands to read them to see the difference. And I'm thinking it's overarching. Everybody who has powers on Earth is an X-Ep, not just one small minority group. But all depends on what Eric wants to do with it. As far as theories go, I haven't really worked on any today because I got to cover something else. Yeah, yeah, but they're the easy ones. You know, they are the easy ones to create knockoffs of. That's why I mean it's honestly easier to create uh, to trick people into thinking you've got an original character. It's easier to combine two of those characters into one. Like you've got a Superman detective type character, or you've got Supergirl, who is a combination of all three of them. She's been trained by Batman. She's been trained by Wonder Woman, and she's Kryptonian. Like Supergirl is that fusion of all three of them in New Earth, not anything after that. Which DC Comics died the day that New 52 came out. Yeah, if you're gonna make a Batman, Superman, or a Wonder Woman character, you combine them, or I say this all the time. Like the only acceptable Black Spider-Man is Peter Parker in the black suit or Black Tarantula from DC Comics. Because why rip off a character? That's there's no point in having. But DC and Marvel rip themselves off all the time and rip each other off all the time. So, I mean, Marvel actually put it in a book more recently that the DC universe was one of the universes in their multiverse that got destroyed. I mean, that's you want to rip something off, and they'll have all kind of panels all the time. They used to, of like there's a DC one where it's got Wolverine and Doctor Doom tied up being executed overseas in a regular DC book of the main Earth. Like, okay, you firing shots is what it is, but yeah, I mean, Rippa could have easily went with a Superman character as his flagship character, and he didn't. You know, we're all betting on gravity powers or isometric exercises. And Yara's a goddamn Super Saiyan. That's just. Well, we don't know anything about any of them yet, so. But the fact that Rippa's keeping it secret means that they're not just blatant ripoffs of other characters. Otherwise, he'd just tell us. Like, oh, well, this big dude has laser vision like Superman, he can fly like Superman. That's a lazy route to do. I don't see Ripper doing that. Like, I mean, on my shirt, this is a fusion of Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter. I made a D&D character out of it. Just using the design. But yeah, it's people say there's no original ideas, but yeah, there are. There's plenty of original ideas. There's original superpowers. You ever question that? What's Doom Patrol? Like, yeah, Project Superpowers. What's Project Superpowers? Oh, excuse me. Nah, I don't read Dynamite comics. Like I read DC, Marvel, and then Image, and I read some Boom and IDW because IDW had all the properties I grew up with as a kid. GI Joe, Transformers, Ninja Turtles, and you got Boom. They had Power Rangers. So okay, I'll give it. I'll check it out. I'm always looking for new stuff to read, but you know, everything went to trash here all about the same time. DC went to trash before Marvel did, but they keep trying to push New 52 in their movies and animation. That's the worst thing you can push because they let their own comic book turn to trash and tried to save it with the Justice League movie and all that. Marvel did the same thing, but they did it later and they did it in a different way. And then they couldn't save it. So now they're, you know, just circling the drain right now. And they're going to fight it to the end until Disney goes in there and cleans house. Yeah, the only thing I read in Boom was Power Rangers, pretty much. And it's kind of funny what actually brought me to reading Lord Draken, of course, you know, uh, in the Power Ranger stuff, but Shredder being turned into the Green Ranger was awesome to me. I still want to cosplay that. That's something I've been working on. But now I've got to print a Rippaverse app. As soon as I get to 100 subs, I got to give one away. Okay, Image started as a DC and Marvel killer. It was Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane, and Rob LaFille who started it. They were all tired of working for the other guys, and they started to build their own universes around it. Well, so you had Youngblood, you had Wildcats, and you had Spawn. Now, for a time, all existed in the same universe. Well, Rob LaFille, he got tired of it apparently, and he went back to Marvel. Jim Lee eventually sold all his properties to DC, and then got an editor job up there. Okay, and he had the best of the three universes was Wildstorm universe. Like that was the best of the three. Spawn for the first 25 issues was. Yeah. And for the first 25 issues, Spawn was the best one. It was the best looking one. It was the best action one. You know, it was the most adult one. And Wildcats and Youngblood were pretty high up there as well with the adult themes. But like yeah, they sold off their assets. So Jim Lee sells Wildcats and the Wildstorm universe to DC. Just in time for New 52. Or well, a little before New 52, and DC tried to produce Wildstorm comics, but they couldn't make any money off of it. So they stripped all those characters when it came to New 52 and put them into the main DC universe because they were Jim Lee's babies. Well, shit happens. Spawn is the only one that still has its own identity. And then Image created another possible, multiverse killer with Invincible. And what do? They have a tag team issue with Spider-Man. And in the same issue, he meets Batman. The same exact issue. Like, that's what I'm saying. Crossovers kill comic books. The big two should have died in the 90s when this happened. Yeah. I mean, after Wildcats lost its popularity, Spawn was still popular. It does not have very many good stories after issue 25 because they're like random as shit. Because Todd McFarlane is not a writer per se; he's an artist. So he let other people write it. And then when they were writing it, they kind of just went all over the place with it. But Spawn is still a bigger seller because Spawn has a fan base. Invincible is a dead universe, but Invincible could have killed either one of them. But Robert Kirkman, he didn't like writing superheroes. Like, he was doing it just to do it. Okay? Just to throw his hat in the ring. Like, The Walking Dead is his baby. Oblivion Song is another one of his. And then he'll write a universe to the end, but... And I guess I kind of have some respect for that. He'll write a universe until he's done writing that universe, and he will end it. And there will be no more of that universe until he sells the property to make a cartoon or a movie or something. Like The Walking Dead. Every one of his... He prints gold when he writes a comic book. But, he knows there's a beginning, a middle, and an end to it. He's not writing it to write a whole universe and keep a universe alive. So Invincible was never meant to last past its run. But, yeah. Crossovers are killers. This book right here almost killed both. It almost killed DC and Marvel because the 90s were rough. And what did DC and Marvel do? They make a fusion universe to try to bring back sales, and that's even worse than that. Those are even worse than this. Like, those are terrible stories. Like, so anybody that says that Rippa can't win against them or against the big two, they don't know the history. Like, this always gets into random conversations. Yeah, it's terrible. That's why whenever I see a crossover, man, I'm like, oh shit. One of the two of them need money. Like, Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles for Boom and IDW, they were doing great until they crossed over with each other. After that, they kind of split, and both of their sales started tanking. Yeah, this is about the same time as all the woke shit started happening. But Power Rangers crossed over with Justice League. That's usually for the bigger fish to showcase the smaller fish. Usually they end up wiping it out. Wildcats crossed over with Marvel and ended up selling to DC. Crossovers are killers, especially when they're non-canon crossovers. Like, those are the worst. I'll give Top Cow one thing, that whenever they had a crossover, it actually happened normally. It was part of their history. Like, the Darkness crossing over with Batman, the Darkness remembered dealing with a guy in a bat costume. But Batman doesn't. So non-canon bullshit stories with crossovers. I don't like crossovers at all either. Like meta humor and meta humor characters. Characters that break the fourth wall and crossovers are the worst fucking thing to me. I can deal with multiverses better than I can crossovers. The best crossover. Yeah, yes. AVP is a good one. Freddy versus Jason is funny as shit. Hack and slash crossing over with any horror icon character. Those are the best ones because they also make sense. So it's like, imagine this, and this is actually a comic book. Hack and slash, Cassie Hack meets Dexter Morgan. She crosses over with Dexter Morgan to fight Jason. Ash from Evil Dead versus Freddy, Jason. Those are great, right? Like having the horror characters all existing in one universe, you know, makes it just work somehow. But like, there's a book where Cassie is fighting Chucky, right? And then she teams up with Chucky. She teams up with Dexter Morgan to fight fucking Jason Voorhees. Like, yeah, hack and slash, any crossover from that, I'm completely okay with. But that's the exception, not the rule to me. Like, yeah, not a fan of those. I can deal with multiverses all day. Just some of them I just don't even look at. But like Batman Blood Rain or Crimson Rain, whatever. The one where Batman becomes a vampire. That's an interesting story. You know. I love the Crime Syndicate from Earth 3. Like, they are some of my favorite characters. Ultraman. Gangster Superman. I mean, come on. Who doesn't like that? But I don't like tokenizations. I don't like crossovers. I can deal with multiverses to a point until they annoy me, which they've annoyed me by this point. You know, we don't have any good multiverses right now, and I like timelines. It's just different timelines or things affecting the timeline. I like time travel stories. Yeah. Well, like most people don't understand that DC Magic characters, they can't really cross over with Marvel Magic characters because their magic comes from different sources. It's like, and they kind of played with that in the crossover here. Quicksilver and Barry, or Quicksilver and Wally, I think it was Wally, not Barry. So Wally goes to the Marvel universe. Quicksilver goes to the DC universe. Wally loses his powers. He can't run because he's not connected to the Speed Force anymore. Quicksilver connects himself to the Speed Force. So it all depends on who's writing it too. I mean, like you can't have just some rando writing a damn crossover story. That's stupid. You need to have people who fundamentally understand the characters that they're writing do the crossover. Like Robert Kirkman wrote the Spider-Man crossover with Invincible, so it worked for that one. But that's one of the exceptions, not the rules. You know, like Cassie Hack. It's not. It wasn't somebody from Spider-Man's side writing some random thing for Invincible, a character that he doesn't understand yet. You know, it wasn't like that, so it worked. And it was canon to Invincible's story, even though it wasn't canon to Spider-Man's story. Because, like I said, in the same issue, he meets Spider-Man, he meets the Avengers, and then he meets Batman while he's getting pushed through the multiverse. Like there's a portal, there's a guy in his world that creates portals. That's his whole thing. Is he has access to the multiverse. Angstrom Levy, and he, you know, pushes Invincible through a portal. He ends up in Marvel, and then he goes to the Walking Dead world, and it just shows panels like after he deals with Spider-Man and the Avengers. It shows little panels where he's sitting there with the Walking Dead. He's in another random universe. It's like a Rick and Morty type transition in that. And then he ends up in one scene. He's like talking to Batman. He's like, "So you dress like a bat, and your name is Batman." Never mind. I've already had this conversation once today. You know. But you only see Batman's fist. You know, you don't ever see actually Batman. But, you know, he meets both of them. Batman and Superman Battle Carnage. I don't think so. I've been finding like these randomly. Like I have not read them. I read the Amalgam books, the Fusion books, but I did not read much of the JLA versus Avengers. I only got this one because of the cover. Like I saw it in a comic book auction, and I'm like, I love that cover. I've always loved that cover. It's, you know, Superman holding Captain America's shield and Thor's hammer. Like I've always loved that cover, so that's the only reason I have that one. Um, but yeah, it's just how things go. I'm looking forward to the Rippaverse just because it's yeah. I mean, I've said that I've gotten rid of my Marvel and DC stuff, but that was only mainly the new stuff. Like I'm making room for Rippaverse posters right here, but my other walls are covered in. I'm gonna poster bomb this whole room with Rippaverse stuff. Um, but like I've got another one that's covered in X-Men and Marvel, DC. Like my favorite books have always been like the Sandman stuff, which I'm not gonna watch the show, but Sandman, Black Panther, and then my favorite covers have always been like, you know, this right here, Virgin art covers like this. Like, you could turn that into just wall art, you know, if you want to. So those are, and I've always hated the bullshit covers. But I got to digging through my comics yesterday, so I could do this video today about, you know, just about the covers and about the price, you know. So this one right here, This is a complete collection, volume 2 for some 90s stories. About, I would say, 5 years old. The book is. So, but the price of it is $35. Now, yes, this is a complete collection, volume, whatever, volume 2 on this one. So, this is a complete collection. It's got a little over 100 pages. Okay? And this is by Marvel, who can afford to print cheaper books. So anybody that's complaining about Eric's prices, they need to shut the fuck up. He's saying that you can find one of these for $12. Yeah, if it's marked down. But retail is $30, $35. So they can shut the fuck up. Flash Year 1, yeah. This is actually one of my favorite covers right here. Batman and Zatanna. A lot of books I have bought just for the art that's on them. That's why I'm completely fine with having, one cover of the Awesome comic right now. It's just because, yes, I like the art, but it's not, there's nothing extra special about the art. You know what I mean? Like, there's no lenticular, there's no... That's why I will definitely have the cards because of that. They're lenticular, they're bigger, I'm definitely going to get the cards. But the book, it doesn't matter which one I get because I'm going to read it. I'm not buying this to collect, even though it is a collector thing. I'm going to buy it, I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to put it up. I may get a second issue later to put up, but I mean, I'm not too concerned with collecting because I'm not going to sell it, so it doesn't matter. This is going to be in my collection until I die, and then my kids won't be able to get money off of it. It'll be so used that my kids won't be able to sell it or get it graded. But I'm going to put, poster bomb these walls, everything. I thought about just taking all the Rippaverse art that's been put up, and fan art so far that's been put up, printed off with an old school printer, and just poster bomb this behind me until I get actual posters. All right, man. I'm about to head off myself. I got stuff I got to do today, and I gotta prepare for it. So I'm gonna end here in about a minute. So, but yeah, thanks for showing up. Rock out and peace out.